Most people are living a life of quiet waiting. They wait for the right job, the right opportunity, the right person, the right timing. They wait for someone to tell them, yes, you can do this, or for the world to give them permission to take the leap. But here's the brutal truth. Permission will never come. No one owes you your dreams. No one is sitting in the sky holding the key to your happiness. Waiting feels safe because it creates the illusion of control. It gives you an excuse to stay where you are. You tell yourself, I'll start next month, when I have more experience, when I feel ready, when the stars align. But the stars rarely align. Life doesn't pause to hand out permission slips. Waiting only prolongs your frustration, your fear, your regret. Every day you wait, your dreams lose a little more of their urgency. Time is not on your side. It's relentless. It moves forward whether you act or not. And every day you choose to wait, the life you could be living slips further from reach. The problem with waiting is that it feels productive. You might spend time planning, thinking, or preparing endlessly. You read books, watch videos, attend seminars, and take notes. But you don't execute. Execution feels dangerous. It feels like stepping into the unknown, and humans are naturally wired to avoid danger. So you prepare for permission instead of creating it yourself. There's a story about a man who dreamed of starting his own business. He spent years learning, researching, and waiting for the perfect moment. When he finally thought he was ready, the world had moved on. Competitors had already filled the space he wanted to occupy. The market had changed. By waiting for permission, he had given his dreams away to time. Waiting always carries that risk. Permission is not required to start. Action is. And yet, most people continue waiting because the discomfort of beginning feels larger than the regret of never trying. The truth is, regret hurts far more than fear ever will. Fear is temporary. Regret lasts a lifetime. The people who change the world, the people who live extraordinary lives, don't wait. They act. They take imperfect steps. They fail, learn, adjust, and move forward again. Action precedes clarity, not the other way around. You don't need permission to start a business, a project, a new career, or a personal transformation. You need courage, commitment, and the willingness to take responsibility for your life. Waiting tells the world, I am not ready, and often convinces yourself of the same lie. But action tells the world, I am here, and I will make this happen. Every small step you take creates momentum. Every decision to act builds confidence. Every failure teaches a lesson that preparation alone cannot. Waiting also often masks fear in other forms. People wait because they fear judgment, rejection, or failure. They fear the opinions of others more than they desire their own success. They believe that if someone else approves of their choices, the world will accept them. But here's the reality. The world is busy with its own life. People rarely notice what you are doing until it affects them directly. Approval is a luxury, not a requirement. If you base your decisions on other people's opinions, you give away your power. You allow your life to be dictated by someone else's comfort, priorities, or fears. Real freedom comes when you realize you don't need anyone's permission to create, to dream, to achieve. You are the authority in your own life. Time is your most valuable currency, and every moment you spend waiting is a moment lost. You can't rewind it, you can't reclaim it, and you can't trade it back. Every day you hesitate is a day where your dreams remain dormant. But when you act, even imperfectly, the universe responds. Opportunities arise, confidence grows, skills develop. The life you want begins to take shape, step by step, day by day. Waiting is comfortable, but it's a trap. It's the enemy of progress, the thief of potential, and the destroyer of dreams. So ask yourself, are you waiting for permission? Or are you ready to take it? Are you waiting for the stars to align, or are you willing to create your own constellation? The moment you stop waiting is the moment your life begins. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is your willingness to act without approval, to take responsibility, and to embrace the discomfort of starting. Permission is a myth. Action is real. And your time is now. Most people believe that the perfect time will arrive to start, to speak, to act, or to pursue their dreams. They imagine that one day conditions will be ideal. The economy will be perfect, their skills will be flawless, their confidence unshakable, and everyone around them will approve. That perfect day never comes. Life is messy, unpredictable, and imperfect by design. Waiting for it is an illusion, a clever trick your mind plays to keep you in a safe, stagnant zone. The truth is that the right time is almost always now, even if it feels inconvenient, uncomfortable, or uncertain. Waiting gives the illusion of readiness, but readiness is a myth. Real readiness is forged in the fire of action. You do not become ready by delaying. You become ready by starting. The problem with waiting for the right time is that it shifts responsibility to external circumstances. People say, "I'll start when I have more money," or "I'll do it when I finish this project," or "I'll pursue my dreams after this obligation." Every excuse is a small permission slip you hand to the universe to delay your life. But here's the painful truth. Life has no obligation to pause for your convenience. Bills still arrive, responsibilities persist, and time continues to pass. Every day spent waiting is a day your potential remains untapped. Waiting for the perfect time is a luxury the successful cannot afford. They take imperfect action today because they understand that action creates opportunity, and opportunity is always imperfect. History is filled with examples of people who ignored timing and created their own. Steve Jobs didn't wait for a perfect economy or the right investors. He acted. Oprah Winfrey didn't wait for a perfect network or a flawless plan. She created her platform despite the odds. Every successful person has faced uncertainty, risk, and fear, but they acted anyway. Waiting never built a legacy. Action, even messy and uncertain, always moves the needle. Waiting seduces you with comfort, but comfort is a cage. Progress requires discomfort, and life rarely provides perfect conditions for growth. Waiting also creates a dangerous cycle of procrastination disguised as preparation. People tell themselves, "I'm just getting ready," but in reality, they are avoiding the unknown. Preparation feels safe, action feels risky, but waiting for readiness is a trap. True learning, skill development, and confidence come only through doing, not thinking. Every successful person you admire didn't wait until they were ready. They became ready through the process. They embraced trial, error, and failure as part of growth. Waiting guarantees nothing. Action guarantees experience. And experience guarantees growth. Another hidden danger of waiting is that it fosters self-doubt. When you delay, your mind begins to fill the gaps with fear. You imagine every possible obstacle, every potential failure, every criticism you might face. The longer you wait, the louder the doubts grow, until they become paralyzing. By the time the right moment arrives in your mind, you are no longer capable of acting because you have already convinced yourself that failure is inevitable. Waiting is a silent thief. It steals courage, momentum, and dreams without you even realizing it. The only cure is decisive action. Start imperfectly, fail forward, and adjust as you go. The right time is a myth designed to keep you safe, predictable, and small. Life rewards the bold, not the cautious. Every day you hesitate, someone else takes the opportunity you imagined for yourself. Every moment spent waiting allows the world to pass you by. Waiting is comfortable in the short term, but it is devastating in the long term. Your dreams deserve urgency. Your life deserves courage. Waiting is not a strategy. It is a surrender. The key to breaking free is to embrace imperfection. Start today, even if you are scared. Launch even if you are unsure. Speak even if your voice shakes. Every action, no matter how small, breaks the chain of waiting. Each step forward builds confidence, clarity, and momentum. You don't need the perfect time. You need commitment, persistence, and the willingness to take control of your life. The moment you stop waiting for permission, the moment you stop waiting for perfection, your life begins. That's where freedom, growth, and achievement live. Most people spend their lives looking outward for validation, guidance, or permission. They ask friends, family, mentors, or society, "Is this okay? Should I do this? Can I?" They wait for approval, as if it were a key to unlock their potential. But here's the truth that most never admit. No one owes you your dreams. No one is required to hand you success on a silver platter. Waiting for someone to give you permission is like waiting for a train that will never come. The world moves forward regardless of whether you act, and opportunities favor the bold, not the polite. The moment you accept that responsibility is yours, and yours alone, is the moment your life changes. Because once you realize that no one else will make your choices, you gain absolute control over your destiny. Permission is a lie. Responsibility is power. Taking responsibility is uncomfortable. It means admitting that your life, your failures, your successes, and your happiness are not someone else's responsibility. They belong to you. It means letting go of excuses, blaming circumstances, or waiting for luck. It means facing hard truths. Maybe you've wasted time. Maybe you've made poor decisions. Maybe you've delayed action out of fear. Owning these truths is liberating because once you accept them, you can act. Freedom doesn't come from waiting for a green light. It comes from creating your own path and moving forward despite obstacles. Every great leader, entrepreneur, artist, and athlete understood this. They didn't wait for external permission. They created it internally through commitment, courage, and consistent action. The danger of avoiding responsibility is subtle but devastating. People who wait for approval often hand control of their lives to others without realizing it. They let other people's fears, opinions, or limitations dictate their choices. They stay stuck in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, in habits that keep them small, all because they are waiting for someone else to say it's okay to change. But change is never given. It is claimed. You must step into the role of your own authority. Your dreams will not validate themselves. No one will cheer you on every step of the way. If you wait for applause, encouragement, or permission, you will wait forever. The only person who can authorize your life is you. Responsibility also transforms fear into fuel. When you realize that no one else will act for you, fear loses its power. Fear no longer dictates your decisions, because you understand that hesitation costs more than failure ever will. Fear becomes a compass pointing toward growth, instead of a barrier holding you back. You begin to see failure as information, not judgment. You take ownership of the learning process, knowing that every mistake is a step forward, every setback a lesson, every rejection a redirection. Those who embrace responsibility learn quickly that waiting for perfect conditions, approval, or encouragement is pointless. Action and imperfection is what creates results. This is also where empowerment begins. When you take responsibility, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop complaining about luck, opportunity, or timing. You stop blaming others for your lack of progress. Instead, you ask a different question. What can I do right now to move closer to my goals? Every choice, every decision, and every step becomes intentional. You no longer drift aimlessly. You steer your own ship. You are accountable to yourself, and with accountability comes freedom, growth, and confidence. You finally realize that your life is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens because of you. Finally, responsibility breeds self-respect. There is nothing more empowering than knowing that your life, your dreams, and your legacy are in your hands. You no longer wait for signals from others. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You no longer require validation or permission to chase what matters to you. You own your choices, your mistakes, your victories, and your failures. And in that ownership, you discover a power that no one can take away. The power to start now, the power to keep going, and the power to create the life you were meant to live. The question is simple. Will you continue waiting for permission? Or will you claim it for yourself? Will you remain in the shadows, hoping someone else lights the way? Or will you step forward and become the author of your own story? Responsibility is the bridge between fear and freedom. And crossing that bridge is the first step toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success. If you're serious about taking action in your life, stop waiting and start now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Because here on this channel, we bring you daily motivation, life-changing insights, and the push you need to stop procrastinating and start achieving. Don't just watch, take action, and let's rise together.